My name is Rowan Milner, and I did my final project on graphing foreign exchange. The four shifters of the foreign exchange graph are interest rates, preference, price level, and income. Changes in interest rates in a country can make foreign investors want to either invest more in that country's markets or invest less in that country's markets, increasing or decreasing the demand for that country's currency. It can also change the supply because domestic citizens also are more likely or less likely to invest in that country instead of going otherwise. Preference shifts the demand for a country's currency because if the goods of that country are wanted more by outsiders, the outsiders are more likely to buy the country's currency, making it appreciate. Price level of a country also affects the demand. If the price level inside of a country goes up, then people from outside are less likely to buy that country's goods. Income is the last one. When the income of a country goes up, typically the supply of their currency increases as they are able to buy more things from other countries. This is a graph of the foreign exchange market. On the x-axis, you see quantity. In this case, it is euros. On the y-axis, there is the exchange rate, dollars per euro. Upward sloping line here is the aggregate supply of euros, and the downward sloping line is the demand for euros. So, for our first example, we have, imagine the average income grows in US compared to Europe. How will this shift the graph? If you said that will cause an increase in aggregate demand, you are correct. Due to higher income in the US, they will be able to buy more things from Europe, increasing the demand for euros. For the second example, imagine interest rates in the US rise relative to Europe. What will happen here? There are two possibilities in this circumstance. The first one is aggregate supply will shift to the right, as people in Europe will want to invest more in US markets, therefore an increase in the supply. The other option is a decrease in demand for euros, as foreigners are more likely to invest in US markets and not European ones. For this last slide, identify the change to US foreign markets. In the first scenario, a new tourist attraction opens, causing an increase in Mexican tourists. How will this shift the foreign exchange market? Aggregate demand going up. That is correct. For the second scenario, imagine prices rise in Mexico. How will this shift the U.S. foreign exchange market? This scenario will lead to a decrease in aggregate supply. For our third scenario, imagine U.S. interest rates increase. There are two answers in this scenario, either aggregate demand increase or aggregate supply decrease. For our fourth scenario, imagine U.S. citizens' income levels have risen. This will lead to an increase in aggregate supply. All right. My name is Rowan, and thank you for listening.